All right, so I think this video we're going to do something a little bit different because you've only seen me doing these mundane tasks, but I haven't really been sharing what I'm thinking while I'm doing them. So for this episode, I'll try to every once in a while put up my phone and start with a voice note, just sharing what I'm thinking about and exploring a few concepts that I had in mind for a few weeks now that I think I'll be able to sort of put down and understand a little bit more with this video. And I'll already start with the first one. Let me know what you think about it. To add a little bit of context, right? I'm designing brands and products for startups throughout Europe. And a topic that everyone, of course, has been talking about has been and is AI. And that it will take all of our jobs and everything that comes with it. And I think I have a fairly different point of view on it than many people. I had to think about this image that I saw about the first industrial revolution. We were transitioning from primarily handmade goods to machine-driven production. And this was, I think, incredibly frightening to a lot of people. And all of a sudden, some sort of machinery comes along that seems to do whatever you can do, and the machine does it in a better, faster, more efficient way. And there were a lot of jobs that were displaced, right? Hand spinners, skilled artisans that just weren't able to make a living anymore. But humans were able to take this innovation and build on top of it. And we built things that we weren't even capable of thinking about when the innovation first came along. Like all of a sudden we had things like Coca-Cola. We had people that were able to create this drink that designed a label for it, designed a logo for it, that did advertising for it. All of these things that were created, or like that really were created for the masses at that point, and they just weren't possible before. When I'm thinking about this AI thing, that's what I see. I see this stark switch from like a rainy past, black and white, and then like the switch afterwards. I look at, I don't know, the 60s, I look at Madison Avenue, Coca-Cola, or then like the iPhone, the computer. All these amazing products that we were able to build that we weren't able to even dream of by the time the innovation seemed to threaten some of us. There's been this threat multiple times now of like humans getting replaced, and humans got replaced in a lot of ways. But humans then weren't useless. Humans took this and built something and built an even more amazing world for all of us. And I think what we'll see is with AI and with it replacing a lot of things, I'm not arguing against the fact that a lot of jobs will be taken with this, but I think as opposed to people just sitting around not knowing what to do, they'll naturally come up with ways to use their skills in a different way and do the things that they were always great at, but it just materializes in a different way. And whatever that way is, I'm very sure that it's a lot better than what they're doing right now. So I'm very, very sure that this future where we humans don't know what we can do and we need to get like a universal basic income, I don't think that this will ever happen, but I'm very, very sure that we'll come up with ways and with jobs and with things to do that are so much more amazing than whatever we're thinking about right now. Like, I'm very sure about that. in a world where every human can build whatever they want to build, what they build is only limited by their own imagination. And if we let that sink in, I think that's incredibly exciting. If we unleash this to every person who wants to do things and make it incredibly easy to build things, our imagination becomes a lot more important, right? So it's just a question of what do we want and what are we capable of thinking about. And I think that makes our creativity and imagination and also taste a lot more important. But I think therein lies one of the main truths about us humans, is that we actually live and things happen to us. And these things inform our reality, our creativity, the thoughts that we have. Because of that, we were able to come up with things the machine is not able to come up with. And even if it is, I'm not sure that it would have the intrinsic motivation to come up with anything. I'm amazed by how powerful our own mind is in intimidating us and also in empowering us. Right? The circumstances and the world doesn't have to change, and a human can feel incredibly anxious and incredibly empowered just by the power of our brains and chemicals in our brains. And I think a lot of people are feeling this fear towards artificial intelligence.
Hi.
And I think that this will be an innovation like we've seen with electricity. It will just be everywhere. And instead of sitting around and feeling depressed because we don't know what we can do because the AI does everything for us, I'm pretty sure that humans will come up with an amazing way to make use of all of this. And what is even weirder for me is that I had these thoughts, that I was able to explore this concept while I was doing like some of the most primitive things that you can do, right? I was fixing a fence. I was making sure that our roof doesn't leak. These are very rudimentary tasks. And I'm very excited, and I'm very curious to hear and learn if these reflections and if these notes from nature brought you any value. And if they did, I'd be incredibly curious to read about them in the comments, just to understand, like, what are you thinking about? And did any of my thoughts trigger something in your own brain that you then had to think about, that you might want to share? But this format helps me to think about things that I want to think about. It's more or less like a therapy session for myself. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you in the next episode. I think we'll call this Nature Notes. I hope you enjoy your weekend and are not living in fear, and realize that the incredible opportunities that are right around the corner.